too far from the typical. I'm nothing but original. You never saw the difference till now. I know the road is difficult. I'm ready for the ridicule. I'm doing shit they can never do well. Cause when they told me no, I did that shit regardless. Look, this is who I am. Nothing to change, I'm sorry. Feet hurt, I've been walking for a long time. I get the feeling everything is gonna be alright.
It wasn't easy. You know, when I first started modeling, I was straight out of high school, and being the thicker girl, it wasn't always easy to get the best parts, you know, but I was able to keep up. So, you know, I always wanted to add me, but not make me the main girl. So I started just doing side fashion shows with local designers. Paco Regine, I think, was my first runway show. But the first time I actually did a fashion show was in high school. I was a part of that. Then I branched off and I worked with a friend of mine named Anton that passed away. He said, girl, I'm gonna put your wig on you. You gonna take some photos. And I'm like, what? It was like 60 degrees outside. So he dressed me up and put this bush on my head, and I took some pictures. And it was just like, oh my gosh, I could do this. I can do more than just a fashion show. So after that, he introduced me to Dario Pulliam, who actually is a very famous hairstylist that passed away as well. He was very consistent with me, making sure I stuck with what I said I was going to do as far as modeling. So he would add me in photo shoots, do my hair, and introduce me to other people. And then he moved on to Atlanta and started working for Keisha Cole. He just made it big, and then, you know, he got his wings. But he was one of my mentors. These are two men that have passed away at such an early age, but they just motivated me to do so much more. I would have never gotten behind a camera and took a picture and thought that I could actually look that good and be a top model. I'm getting emotional. Oh! Can I stop? Oh, boy. Okay, goodness gracious. I haven't talked about them in so long, and it's crazy. I just realized that one of it was one of their birthday, but to have two young men in my life that were actually my role models, and they're not here. If they could see how far I got to know that I have a modeling agency, and I'm sitting here doing a documentary on myself, I know they would be very proud. So I want to thank them. I know they're probably watching like, girl, you better get that makeup together because I ain't do it. But they are my role models that are no longer here with us. After that, I met Devin. And then Devin, he actually, I think I was on my way to work with a friend, and he was doing this show off of North Avenue or something. And I was like, I want to try out. So I walked, he's like, you can walk in my show. And it was at Coppin State. And I was like, oh, this is a big show, like high school, I want to do it.
So Ashley, I consider Ashley my sister. I don't consider her a best friend. I consider her my sister. She's like a blood relative to me. I first met Ashley, I want to say maybe in 2001. She'll know exactly, but I seen her performing at Catonsville College in a fashion show. Mind you, I was outside, so I couldn't see, didn't have a seat. It was sold out. So I'm seeing her from outside the window, watching her on the runway, and I just said, this girl is amazing. And from there, after the show, I ran into her. I told her to come join me. And from there, we just kicked it off. And Ashley has been modeling with me since. And yeah, that's a long time.
So after Devin, that's when it really branched out. I always had this challenge of being a thicker model. And the other girls being just like high school, the girls are always like, oh, she can do it, but I can do it better. And so with me, it was just like, I never pushed myself because I was afraid to be I don't know, I was going to be looked at. Oh, she's too thick to be doing that. Usually in the fashion world, it's size 0 to 6. And, you know, I was a size 12, 14, not the normal model. So during that time, I was literally struggling. I wasn't with my family by choice because of my lifestyle, you know, being a lesbian. It wasn't really accepted, but I still wanted to do what I wanted to do. You know, being in the LGBT community, being in fashion was just like, shoot, you got to know everybody and you into fashion. And by me living that lifestyle and being in fashion, I just started meeting people and getting put on. And the whole entire time, I was literally struggling on what I wanted to be. And I didn't know. I was just waitressing. I like to do hair, but I like to model. I didn't really have much money because I chose to be on my own, and I didn't even have to. I had a supportive family, but I decided to go left, and probably wasn't the best decision, but I'm thankful for those mistakes that I made because this is why I'm here today. And that's why I'm thankful for my friends because they came into place, especially Alana. She's one of my best friends who's also PR now. You would not believe how I was literally living out of her car and still going to every fashion show, practice, and she'd be so mad. I have her whole trunk packed, and we would just going to practice or still going to the club like I had somewhere to go, and I really didn't, but I didn't care. I was only, 19, 20? No, I wasn't 21 yet.
Wow, me and Ashley, we met doing fashion shows years and years and years ago. We were both still in high school when we met. I think the first show we did together was for Devin, when we were called Paramount Models at the time. Paramount Models back in 03, 04, 05, whenever it was, telling my age. It was like the modeling group that you wanted to be a part of. I remember vividly, my senior year at Western, like Devin had sent word like, oh, can somebody get in touch with Alana? I want her to be in my group. I want her to model for me. And I was just like, oh my God, I made it. Like, I remember coming home telling my mother, like, Devin asked for me. He asked for me personally to be in his group. So it was like the thing to do back then.
Paramount Models, and Ashley became a part of that group. From there, we went and then transformed into D Squared Models. So I've had 3 different groups. Most of the models stayed with me for a while. Ashley's been there since day one, and she has gone all the way. Even with those shows, she was the one that I would go to for assistance, help me to get some thoughts together or help me do some choreography together, get the choreography together. She's amazing.
People don't know, like, I literally struggled and still was out here doing every show, getting picked up from any kind of job I could get at the time. And that's what I mean, the bottom. It wasn't handed to me because I knew this person or knew that person. I literally worked for where I am today.
Oh! Hold up, bring the beat back. I can't get that. Stop, I ain't ready yet. Yeah, just do it again. Wait, let me fix my hair. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Even though she won't get this, I know everyone's gonna think I'm like really crazy about this, but I'm like really, really, really inspired by Beyonce.
Oh God, Ashley and Beyonce.
Oh God.
Yes.
It's overrated. It's overrated. Beyonce is overrated. Like, but I love the fact that she loves her because I love just teasing and just, you know, saying, who? So, but yeah, she's the #1 Beyonce fan.
I've never met anyone who loves Beyonce more than Ashley. That's it. I mean, that's just period.
Not because of what's trendy, but because she was the first female that I've ever like went crazy over after seeing her.
I took Ashley to her first Beyonce concert. Can I tell you that I could not even really enjoy the concert because she just like stood up in front of me the whole time and yelled and screamed and danced the whole entire show. Like it was just unreal. And then like I didn't go with her this trip, but she actually went to New York and camped out outside in Central Park in the cold overnight to see Beyonce perform on Good Morning America. She had no blanket, no pillow, no nothing. She just was out in the cold in New York City. It's crazy.
The time I first saw her, she wasn't really tiny. She was like this big Amazon. I thought Beyonce was gonna be this skinny person. She was a thicker girl. She was up here with all this hair. And I was just like so inspired.
She really treats her shows like Beyonce treats her performances. Like, we know how great Beyonce works, right? Like, she's just in a different realm. You know, like you had Prince, you had Michael Jackson. They was as much entertainers as they were artists. And I feel like she really put that work in to make a great show. Some people can I cuss? Some people half-ass it, you know what I mean? Like, some people, she really puts her heart into it, you know what I mean? Even if it means she may not profit off of that show, you're not going to leave feeling like you didn't get your money's worth. And that's to me is one of the greatest things about it. Like, she really puts her heart into it, like Beyonce.
Thank you to Beyonce for inspiring me to be a top diva and not care about what anybody else says. I'm thankful for all of them, and I'm sure there's more, but those are people that put me in the fashion light that I would like to thank. You know, those are motivators, mentors, and you're never supposed to forget where you came from.
Once I did my final show, she decided to go ahead and take on her own group. And I asked her she kept asking me, she's like, you think I should do this? I said, yeah, you can do it. She did it. She has a great mind. She's very talented, very creative, and of course she gets it from me. So, but I appreciate the fact that she still looks up to me, even when she first started. Even now, when I come into rehearsals, I'll just pop up and surprise her, and she'll just lose her mind. And she'll run right over to me like, Devin, how does this look? Is this okay? So she still asks me those questions, and I'm just to the point now where I'm like, Ashley, like, you got it. Like, go all the way. And she knows that I'm here to support her all the way, and I'm so proud of her.
The good thing about my friends, most of the girls that started with MMW were my friends, you know, because that's all I knew other than the girls that I met during other shows. So my very first show were a lot of my close friends. So it was beneficial because I have a lot of female friends that were into the same thing.
Well, I've known Ashley since around 2003 when I graduated from high school. I went to CCBC Catonsville, and I met her, I believe, like in the cafeteria of the school, and she just came up to me and was like, you know, do you want to model? And, you know, who are you? You know, where are you from? Whatever. And we did a fashion show there, which I haven't done one at that point since high school. And we did a fashion show there and just killed it. And ever since then, it's been a wrap ever since. I've known her for quite a while, since 2003. It's been like 14 years. Yeah.
She's just very important to me when it comes to friendship and my business, and I love her for that. Anybody that follow MMW know Jahari.
My name is Alicia, and I know Ashley from, of course, MMW. She found me, I'm gonna say maybe, what was it, 5 shows ago?
And I was actually in the audience, and Alicia was doing this performance, and I think it was for like Beyonce or something, so I was already intrigued. But out of that whole entire fashion show, she was the only model that stuck out to me.
Picked me out, and I came to the first practice that she had, and we've been like that ever since.
I actually met Ash, it wasn't even in a creative space. It was just around friends, around good people. And her vibe, her energy was good, and we built off of that. You know, it's beautiful to meet somebody who, yeah, you have a great craft, y'all both creative people, but we met on just such a cool, her soul was just so cool, and it still is. So we've been vibing since.
Friendship in business is kind of hard. Some friends will feel forced because you're their friend and they have to do it. And then they do it for a while and it's just like, I don't really want to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's Ashley, and then it starts to show. So in some cases, you know, of course I have those close friends, but some friends I actually lost because, you know, I looked at it like you didn't make it a priority, which I would have done for you. And I would have rather you for, you know, as a friend, just say, not anymore.
Ashley's a hard worker. I don't think she get enough credit for how hard she works and how serious she takes her craft. She knows what she wants. You know, I would like to say she's easy to work with because she tells you what she wants. She gives you freedom to work, freedom to move how you do. She listens to everybody around her. Even though Ashley has her mind set on what she wants, but she's willing to listen. And just working with her, I grew because it was something different for me going shooting fashion, you know what I mean, shooting models, and it was something I never did before. So working with her, for me to be an amateur at what I was, it was easy. I wasn't intimidated at all. You know.
Am I doing a 1 minute video, one that you can put up on Instagram, or am I doing a YouTube video? I don't know. You want it longer than a minute? I don't care. I know we were in the documentary talking. I mean, they need this. They need the truth. The fucking truth. She actually.
Ashley's just that type of person where anyone can click with her. Like, if you have a problem with Ashley, then something's wrong with you. I always tell her that that's one of her strong suits. Her personality, she's very loyal. She'll give you her last. She'll bend over backwards for you, but that's also her weakness because a lot of people, you know, take that for granted. I tell her that all the time. All the time.
The good side of it, all of my friends are successful and they have some input on my brand. So whether it's sponsorship, hairstyling, makeup, that's the plus size of it. I'm that one that's going to use who I know before I go outside of my circle. Okay. And even though mixing friendship and business is, you know, kind of hard, but I just can't see myself going to someone else when I have a close friend that does that as their business. You know what I mean? I want to push them. I want to bring them out like me. So I'm never going to step outside of my circle, and if they say no, then I'll do it, but I'll always give them an opportunity. Unleash the Diva. My best show, to me, still was my first show. I'm going to briefly say for the first show it was kind of tough because I wasn't even working and I did a whole show. That's okay. Here's the reason. I literally modeled for all these other great people, and then here I go with no job, collecting unemployment, doing hair, and I'm like, how am I going to do this? And are people going to try out for this show? So it's like, I can do it. I've built enough relationships. I left a good taste in a lot of designers' mouths. They always wanted to call me, so I know I can call them. So I know I could do this. So I literally took one check and went to this place called the UB Blake Center and paid for that to have a model call, not thinking that these girls were going to be wrapped around the building. It was the first time that Baltimore had an opportunity where girls could come out and try out to be in a fashion show and not have a restriction other than being 18 and over. It didn't matter what size. It was all about the walk to me and how you can present yourself. So not only that, everyone that was actually just beginning to start their own thing wanted to get on it. So I reached out to them and said, here's your moment. Use this platform. I'm already paying for it. Let's do this together. My friend Danielle that I spoke on, who just opened her store now, she wanted to get into styling, but she just wouldn't do it. I said, Danny, this is your moment. Style these girls for this fashion show. I need something different. So she definitely did. That was her first time that she actually pushed herself to showcase her line. And I really love her for that because I think after that moment, she really was just like, okay, I got to do this now. Because once they saw her line, it was like, oh, you're doing this.
This was one of my first things I ever shot. So it was, you know, it felt good. I thought we was real loose with it. I wasn't tight about it at all. I was just having fun. And, you know, how happy she was and how the people that came out, You know, it felt good to help, you know what I mean? And it felt good to see from the outside looking in and even from the inside looking out how hard she worked. So I thought I took what I saw from her and I put it into my own life. You know, work hard, you know, grind hard. You know, if you do it, people will receive it and come up.
So not only that, we had other people come out and do vendors, and like Cheyenne, she at the time was starting her wardrobe brand, and she was just like, I got a backdrop, I can come take some pictures and I'll donate. She donated some money and I was able to take care of people getting their picture taken. So it's like I just was open to all these brands coming together and just sharing it. Rel at the time just really started pushing out the Huggies like that, and this is a fancy drink that comes in a Huggy form. And he was like, I'm gonna get a table, I'll set up. And he was like, I don't know about the liquor. He was just like, I got you there, Huggy bottle. So I'm like, okay. So he set up, and I literally sold out my very first show. People couldn't even sit down.
You know, we didn't know what we was exactly looking forward to, like the audience. You know, that was Ashley's first show, so she didn't know the audience that she attracted. So that was it. The nerves of the models. We had some new models. You know, we had models that were vets, you know, they used to it. But I think it was just exciting for me, and it was one of my favorites because that was the first time that MMW was on the stage as MMW.
It was so lit that I got a letter the next day saying, thank you for your business, but I am not allowed to come back to do anything there. And I believe that I'm restricted from, yes, because it was just so lit. And I'm like, it was like a party and a show. Every time I would come out on the stage, it looked straight like the BET Awards. I lied to you not.
We killed that.
Yeah, we did.
We killed that. We killed that. That was fun. We made it work.
Anybody watching this will say, yeah, that first show was it. And that was called Unleash the Diva. That was my first show. So that was, to me, my best show. Evolution of a Diva.
Yeah. And then show 2, we practiced at the little tattoo spot. Show 2 was the tattoo spot.
Oh, yeah.
We had some practice spots.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, we did.
I'm going to tell you.
And the cold.
Hello. Ashley said, all right, so this week we're going to be here. All right? All the way across town. But this way we're going to be. Like, she, when it came to practice, like I was saying, any obstacle that comes her way, it's like, okay, next.
Show 2, Evolution of a Diva, that place held 900 people. I had 920 people, my second show. So the Huggies were there.
But that's a good show.
It was a good show, but we can't go back because it was another situation.
Cold, fresh air. Feel the melody that's in the air. I'm down, take a look around. What's going down? However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me? However do you need me? However do you want me? However do you need me?
As a model, speaking for myself, I probably worked the hardest for that show. The routines for that show was difficult.
Steady, are you ready? What's going on?
The second show, Jahari and Alicia did a routine together. The second show, I always give, Alicia an opportunity to show her dance skills. So she's like, this time it's going to be me and Jahari. And I was just like, what? So, of course, we were practicing in some rinky-dink spot. And they, of course, I guess had a side practice and came to practice this particular evening and played Beyonce Rocket. So I'm like, Jahari, get ready to come out here and bust it out. Let me see. So they did this whole number together on point to Beyonce Rocket, and I was just shocked because there's so much for Jahari to be doing, even though I knew she had it in her. And when I tell you, the whole room just was quiet and just was in standing ovation because they technically looked like one person, but it was the two of them, and it was just so sexy but classy at the same time. And then, of course, showing that moment at the fashion show. And this is the show that I was telling you that was like 900 people in the audience. So just imagine seeing these two girls, and at the time the song was popping, and they just nailed it.
When we did Rocket, and it was like, everybody was like, wow!
I know.
I felt so good, and to know that you was right there, killing it with me, like, we've always been in sync.
Yes.
So, it was like, yo, we couldn't, when we got on the stage, we just kept smiling, like, it was surreal.
Yeah,
The whole thing was surreal. Show 2 was sick.
Yeah.
Show 2 was sick. The stage was nice and big. Yeah, show two was sick. It was a lot of us.
We actually met at my second fashion show the same night.
I like the fact that she was a boss, of course. Before I even really got into to know more about her business, I could just tell that she was like a hard worker and that she just deserved the best, honestly. So I just knew that I was that person that would be able to give her that. So, and us two together, she kind of inspired me to start my brand, and it just all happened right before my eyes. So.
She will try to be my manager while managing her own thing. And I understand, because I'm like that with her. I will only want the best for her. But she'll get angry with me, and I'm like, no, you're just taking on too much. I can do this. And she be wanting to do my thing and her thing, and then yell at me about it. And I'm just like, you just doing too much. That's the only reason why you mad. You don't have to do it. So that's why it's kind of not a pet peeve, because it's a good thing that she would even want to, you know, put me before what she does. I ain't do none of the routine because I got nervous. Yeah.
Right. That bitch put her hands back. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? You saw? I saw that. I'm like, oh, that bitch realized though. You was feeling yourself, babe. You was still look good regardless. Why when you started walking out, when you was like walking towards the, why I was walking with
me?
I'm walking right with you. I'm like, shit, let me stop.
They probably gonna be like, why is the girlfriend getting flat on this camera?
I couldn't have asked for a better person to be a part of Ashley's career and her life. I've never seen Ashley this happy. And like I said, I've known Ashley for years. We've been together through relationships together, both of us together. So to see her now officially happy with someone is like amazing.
And I've really never been with someone that literally would put my things before her own. So it's a good thing.
They know how to have fun together. They do good business together. It just works. Like they really complement each other.
It's kind of like a plus, honestly, because I'm always needing models. She's always shooting. They're always branding. They're in DC. They're here. They're there. They're doing fashion shows and getting a lot of attention. So I feel like MMW helps out New Language in a tremendous way.
She's always going to use our models because they're always, you know, able to be available for her. So it's beneficial when she's ready to drop something new and she needs a model. She'll say, you know, boo, I need some models. There you go. Or if I'm home and she just needs an opinion, it's, boo, what you think about this color? Do you think this go with this? Yes, it goes with that. So it balances out.
You know how to hold it. All right, you gonna be all real quick? Hurry up with it though. How do you want to
I'm trying to keep going, keep going. I want to see a ring. I want to see a ring.
That's my lady. I'm basically her support. I'm there to let her know that no matter what, keep going, and it's only gonna get better. It's only up from here, and I love that girl.
My third show was not my best show. Natural Born Diva. Every show I had like a diva legacy. So Natural Born Diva, it was a nice show. It just wasn't my best. But people enjoyed themselves. You know, we have good pictures, but it wasn't my best. And I learned from that. And from then on, that's actually when we really blew up. Not only did my best friend get diagnosed with cancer, in the midst of that, I was trying to run a show. This was the 3rd year of that same batch of friends that were still in the group. And then it was just tough because I wasn't mentally where I normally am giving a show. It was my 3rd show, so this is the 3rd show, you know, you gotta go hard. I could not accept the fact that my best friend had cancer. It was just not kicking. I couldn't even give my 100%. So the fact that that happened may have been one of the reasons why I wasn't my best, which I don't care, because he was a priority to me. Not only that, I lost some friends. It just wasn't my best. And then I retired the diva, and show 4 was Fame, Fashion, Art, Music, and Elegant.
I think Fame is where she kind of went from auditorium setting to like more direct personal setting. So I'm a fan of Fame.
Show 4. When I realized I had a group of women that literally wanted to model and make this a career and actually bent over backwards to just help me build my brand and just met me. It was just like, where do these women come from? Now, granted, I will never take from anyone else that were part of MMW because they were a true asset, and I'm glad they were a part. But show 4 was kind of like after show 3. I told you show 3 was kind of like, it was on the rocks. It was on the, and you know, some people moved on to do better things, and some people just got busy. And show 4, I did a whole new model call, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I got these girls. I did a mixer, and these girls came out, and they just stormed, and I'm like, I got my girls. You know, that's why, if you notice from show 4 and 5, they're more intimate and more fashion, not a big auditorium, not a big party. So that was my transition. After show 3, I was like, no more auditoriums. Because it just makes people think that they're at the concert, like, you know, it's just like this feeling of being in an auditorium, you want to get drunk, like, yes, wait till the girls come out. But that, when you change the setting and you only offer wine and you have plain chairs and you do VIP and you give a dress code, it changes the mood. It's all in how you produce it.
Demons on my conscience. What's the best escape from drowning? I need a lifeline as I'm calling. So I pour up my pain and I roll up my feelings, popping pills for these nightmares. I'm running from my fears, so I get this, hold that, get lit, lay back. So tell me what you trying to do. I got a bottle and some pack you should roll through. Sip it, pour up, like that, oh you like that. Sip it.
I can honestly say every venue that she has had her fashion show, going up from 1 to 5, it's always been acceleration. You know what I'm saying? It's always been a step up. It's never been a downgrade. And I'm so proud of her for that.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her for that.
Yeah, because show 5, that venue was really nice. It was nice and spacious. It was a lot of seating. It was a nice ambiance for that.
It was.
So
It was.
kudos, honey bunny, because that one was nice.
It was very professional. You could tell she took her time and really thought this one out and was really dedicated in taking MMW to the next level. Because I remember with that show, that's what she kept saying, like, I'm rebranding MMW. I wanted to have a new look. I want to attract a new audience. And with that show, I think she really did it.
Honestly, I would have to say the very last show was my favorite show. Because you can see the transition from beginning to end. Well, it's not the end, of course, but from beginning to her last show, and you can see the growth. And you can see that she's learned from the last shows, and she has progressed in that. And it was just amazing show as far as maturity level as well. I have to take my hats off to that. I really enjoyed that show. It was well put together, well planned out. The venue was nice, the music was nice, the setting was nice. You couldn't ask for a better show. It was amazing.
Honestly, I didn't feel anything until this year. And I always hear people say, oh, you don't really see your business grow until maybe a year in or two. And I was always proud of myself to be able to pull it off. But this 5th year has like really, it showed me that like that was a lot of work. I should be really proud to be able to have a business that's consistent for 5 years.
Are y'all MMU? Of course. Okay, when I saw y'all posting little flyers, I've never heard that too. Yes,
What? Work it. Yes. Fucking put it on a team. Yes.
I am looking to accomplish having the national top modeling agency of all sizes, from 0 to 24. Eventually, I would like to open up a headquarters where we will have an office for people to come when they want to scout models. They will meet me personally so that I can interview them, because I usually don't push the girls just anywhere because we still have a brand to represent. So the goal is to have an office where we also will have a studio where they practice, and maybe like a photo studio and like a dance studio with a mirror and just an office. So just an MMW headquarters.
It's going to be a really good group and so interesting. You get to meet new people and new personalities and learn how to make friends with them and
You get out the
adjust to
house.
them. And you have so much fun because you get to build confidence. And it is
And sleep
the best.
things at the same time.
Of course, yes.
I've been in and out of MMW for years, so I get on Ashley's nerves, but I love her dearly. She's a great mentor, coach. I can talk to her about anything. These are my sisters. I have a second family, even though I'm very busy, but I love them. MMW for life. For life. It's my bros. Why not be a bro though? It's always bros.
Okay, so we are at Marquise Revlon, legendary Vogue King, Runway King model call, someone who I work under. So I wanted to make sure I brought our ladies out today to get the experience of being a part of an amazing model call. And I'm very impressed how everyone came out. Y'all all really look good. You might want to turn around and look at them. Yeah, because y'all look really, really good. She is ready. But yeah, so that was the point of us coming out tonight, just to get a little bit more model call experience. And that's it. So I'm looking to partner up with some department stores or bigger brands so they will only use my models, you know, when it comes to catalogs or just anything that they advertise, they only use our models. So that would be considered a sponsorship where we both benefit from each other. That's a plan. Hopefully I'll gain some great relationships with some top designers and maybe some TV networks to see what girls are needed for commercials, and definitely to get this reality TV show on the roll.
Wait, we should start say the whole name. I am Ashley, CEO of
Models Most Wanted.
I like that.
Yes.
Right.
The goal is to have a show that shows the development of an MMW fashion show. It is really tough, with 20 girls in the same room once a week, all ages, all minstrels, all different sides of town, married, straight, gay, look, mothers. I need to what's wrong? Somebody got an extra bush they weren't supposed to, and then someone doesn't have a hair. So I need to get to the hair store. I'm about to see Willie ready. Okay.
MMW is a sisterhood, so you know collectively we grasp onto that victory.
To deal with grown adults or growing ladies, and all ladies, I know how that can be. So again, I take my hats off to her. I commend her for her work. But as the boss and as the models, I respect them because they show her the respect as being the CEO and the boss of her organization. And to see the fact that they have followed her and they're still with her till this day since the beginning, it's amazing. It's amazing. You don't really get that too many places. Sometimes people will just come and go, and then it's like, but they have really been with her through it all.
As far as being a vet, like I said, you kind of had the best of both worlds when you're a vet, because you had the side where you are a model, you know, you're dealing with the designers, you know, photographers, you're having a good time, blah, blah, blah. You know, you just there when she say be there. But, you know, also being a vet, you also still had that connection of, I'm getting there. You also still have, you also had that connection, you know, of all the experience that y'all been through. So you know her more in depth. You know when she's probably stressed, or, you know, when she needs help. Because Ashley, she's so proud. She never wants to say she need help. But, you know, that's what we're there for, because we already know. So it's what you need.
Ashley, she's my sister. She's my sister. I have no other way to explain it. We laugh, we cry, we have deep talks, we have funny talks. We just have established a great relationship over the years, and she's just one of those friends that you can never replace. You can't fake the funk about it. She's very authentic.
For me, you know, of course, Ashley and Jahari, they have known each other for a minute. I came in 5 years ago, and I'm so honored that I just fit right in. You know what I'm saying? We got a cute little, you know, group chat like everybody else. But like we love to hang out. We try to make it a priority to hang out. And when we do, it's just fun. Like, it's just fun. Like, you just find your sisters.
Yeah. We just having sister time.
Yes,
really.
We have sister time. Like, we geek. First of all, I did not know that Jahari was this funny. Like, that's just number one. Jahari is like, do you remember at the 90s party when we just kept ad-libbing? And I was so shocked to know that she knew all the ad-libs. Like, we was just like, yes! It felt so good to know she was on my page.
Yes.
Like, and Ashley, of course, you know, she knows everything. Like,
yes. Giving shoulder action.
Ashley
did this little
half flip as always. Like,
I still can't do it. She be doing this little
I can't.
shoulder dance. It's too cute.
She gets into her vibe, honey. You cannot tell Ashley she's not on stage. 20%.
I will never, ever, 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 ever discredit anything about them, because even though they're not walking right now, they still are behind the scenes making sure that the girls are on point, coming to practice, and being my sisters.
Yeah, the TV show would be them following us, me, every day, because I work a full-time job, along with being in a relationship with someone that has a job as well as a business that's consistent.
I'm not really in a playing mood today, y'all, okay? I want to keep it rolling. Y'all can line up and you do runway.
So I would like people to see that and hopefully get inspired and see that I still can do that and be there for 30 plus girls one-on-one. I talk to them each one-on-one. And just what goes on during practice is not always fun. I really turn into a month.
And do it to your best ability. If it's wrong, you're going to be corrected. Never take it upon yourself to even put a shoulder down if it's up. Change your lip color, change your hair, change your shoe. It's not acceptable. As a model, that's your job. If I send you to New York and you go there and I don't have a clue what you're wearing, they go there and they put you in 3 different outfits and they all ugly, if you're not comfortable, that's just the job of being a model. That's what you are. So you have to kind of get yourself in a mode where it's like, okay, I'm working, this is ugly, but I can do this. Because at the end of the day, that's your job, being a model. If you're going to have a problem with makeup, hair, shoes, or anything, MMW is not for you. Because if I do this fashion show and somebody don't like their hair, makeup, or their clothing, and you go and change your face and your hair and your clothing before you walk out, I will ask you to leave. before the show starts, during the show, whatever the case, I will ask you to leave and not come back because it's disrespectful. I think people will watch that. You watch a group of girls in the house fighting. Why wouldn't you watch these females prepare for a fashion show? It's drama, it's fun, it's sweat and tears, you know. It's always that, oh, I want to walk first, or I want to walk last, or I want to be in this scene, or I don't like my makeup, or I don't like my hair. So it's not always fun and positive, in which some of the producers that I've reached out to unfortunately said that we were just too positive to have a show. What's your suggestion?
I don't want to say it. Go ahead.
You opened your big mouth and everybody.
I didn't So first we should finish with the new model that's here. That'll lessen people.
Oh,
I mean, if they don't have to stay, they don't have to stay.
Yeah.
The ones that's not going to know routines can sit outside. And then everybody that wants to, more so y'all gonna try to stay here and watch. Y'all don't have to.
You mean utilize both rooms, runway outside and routines in here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. But the newer models, I'm going to talk to them regardless. My plan is to eventually not work a full-time job. I'm like literally tired of working for someone else. I'm sure people say that every day. But it pays the bills, you know. I would just like to work for my brand. I don't want to do hair anymore. I mean, I will. I still do it sometimes on the side because I was doing that full time when I first started MMW. I would love to just focus on my brand, be traveling, getting these girls bigger jobs, getting other females in different states to represent the brand. Like, I know I can do this because it's not many. Every modeling agency is segregated. It's either a plus size modeling agency, a male agency, child agency, or regular high fashion model, which is considered, plus size is considered a size 10 in the fashion world, which is outrageous. If I had one thing, I don't even think it's anything. I think anyone that may be watching this now may think that I'm really mean, because I'm, what you call it, a poker face? I think I have a poker face. And then when you get to know me, it's like, oh, she's goofy. She's a clown for real. And I really am. And I'm soft. Like, if I'm angry, I'll get angry because I'm a Cancer.
You're a real life gummy bear.
I'm a gummy bear. I really am. I'm not mean. I'm that person, but I don't appear that way. And it's always like, oh, she's into fashion. She's stuck up. Or, you know, she dresses like this. She's stuck up. So that's why I said I need to do a documentary, because this will probably get more people motivated to do what they always wanted to do. And this will also probably get some girls, I'm gonna reach out to MMW. That's fun. Look at her journey. So yeah. And I've been in 2 magazines and a billboard this year. I was in Urban Freedom magazine, which is what do you say, published or produced? Published by Mercedes. She gave me the opportunity to be in her magazine to just talk about my show and my brand. And then her last issue, she actually put me on the cover and did a whole article on the Fifth Element fashion show with pictures and how I got started, and was actually on Charles Street this summer. That was so cool to actually, me and my girlfriend actually sat there and waited a whole 20 minutes because it would go over, it would flip, but it was like 6 other people also broadcasting. So we literally sitting there watching it like, oh my gosh, is it gonna come up? So it came up and I'm like, oh, there. She's like, oh my God, I didn't record it. She actually recorded it, so she kind of like psyched me. I was gonna be so pissed.
So you waited another 20 minutes.
Yeah, we waited. She was like, psych, I got it. And I was like, oh my gosh. Also, other than the magazines and the billboard, I had my 5th fashion show. I had my 5th fashion show. I was able to share a moment with my partner. She was on her 1st year anniversary. This is my 5th year anniversary. New language has grown. I'm happy to be a part of that. One other accomplishment is I was able to balance a relationship and a full-time job and my business and keep myself sane and still be available for my friends who also have businesses that also have things to do every 5 seconds. So that's an accomplishment within itself. All these years, no one would ever ask me to do an interview, and I have so much to talk about. Like, come on now, I'm doing shows. So this one girl reached out to me. Shout out to Desmond, which is someone I work with. He hosts my last show, Desmond Funny. He's
a comedian that also is one of the hosts on the radio show, told her, like, you got to get her on here. She got this modeling agency. It's popping. So I go on the radio show excited, and they interview me. It's called Karma's Come Around. And we interviewed about MMW. We talked about the new show, and we also auctioned off some tickets. I expect more business relationships out of Show 6 because I'm actually going to use some new people. I always use the same people, but I'm expecting some new business relationships. I'm definitely going to use my sponsors still, which are my friends. Like I told you, all my friends have businesses. Like Bernard, he has GQ for Cancer, which actually represents, he represents some men that deal with health issues and cancer. Also, there's Danny Illicit Rag. She has a boutique, a vintage boutique, which I talked about with the first show, where she showcased her line. Also, there's Love Has No Face by Liera, which is also another organization, you know, dealing with women empowerment and poetry, and she also has a clothing line. Also, Tiara, she's another person close. She has a whole hair business. She does hair. She does my hair. Also, Double Royalty hired me to be their brand ambassador. So now I'm just representing them. This is a whole company now that's literally gave me hair to promote it every day, and that's my job. And I plan to switch it up and get her business. So, it's so many, I can go on and on. Of course, New Language, my partner. Like I said, Urban Freedom. I hope I'm not forgetting. Oh, then of course, there's, okay, so all my friends have businesses. This is really a good thing. Nikki, she's a chef. She has Treat Yourself. I can go on and on. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but y'all know I mean well. And Alana, I forgot, as I mentioned her, she is my PR, and she does a really good job with that as well. So that's it. And my DJ Devin. They can reach me at Ladies of MMW Models on Instagram. They can email me runwaydiva623@gmail or modelsmostwantedbaltimore@gmail. And that's pretty much it, how to reach me. My phone number, you can email me and I'll think about giving it to you. Smile, you're on candid camera. It's like we a month behind and I really don't have time for nothing but practice. Every practice we've been doing everybody else's stuff. It's time for us to do our own stuff and I'm not for it. Strung out on fashion. Okay. I'm not going to tell you really when I thought of it.
Nobody normally knows. You could be
But just know I was feeling nice and I was like, you know what? Strung out on fashion. And I just thought, now it's time to take it out of the box. Not the traditional old production, spinning around dancing and just, you know, doing a crazy song and just doing some straight runway. Now I want to take it there. I was watching Fashion Week this year and I noticed that no one has recently done anything like bizarre or avant-garde, as they call it, where it's like you ever see something and you won't see people wearing it, but it's on the runway and it's like, where is she going in that? But it kind of looks good because it's like part of the moment.
Like on White Chicks when they had those two...
those flamingos, yes. So that actually is my goal, to have some crazy out there looks. But actually bring in a 90s twist of music. I want to use some instruments. I want to use some old-fashioned, but some bizarre looks. So, yeah, strung out on fashion. A lot of instrumental type, fashion jazz. Judge.
Just keep going. Basically, babe, you know you got it. All I can say is that it's getting better and better, and your time has come. It's always been your time, and just you inspire so many people that you know and that you don't know of, and no matter what, you got this. And can't wait for show 6. Can't wait for show 6. Can't wait for show 6.
Ashley is probably one of the most influential people I've met. She doesn't have to have fame. She doesn't have to have, you know, what we see as success when you're on TV, this, that, and the third. But you can't work with her and not take something from it. You know, you can't work with her and not see her hard work, not see how she treats people. Now see how she handles conflict. You know what I mean? That makes a businesswoman, a leader. She takes people from different age groups, you know, different backgrounds, put them together, and they all work for one common goal, and that's really hard. But that shows you what a leader she is. You know, you have to be a leader for people to follow you and to trust that when I follow what you say, I'm going to look good doing it. And so anytime you can get people to work not only for their best interest, but for yours, you know, I think that speaks to the type of woman you are, the character you are, the love you show other people. Because I know I may be difficult to work with sometimes too, but she always found a way to make me feel comfortable. You know what I mean? She never did anything I felt wasn't out of love. And you know, it's hard to find people like that. It's hard to find people that you want to work with again. It's hard to find people that you believe in. You know, you could get booked for anything, but do you believe in that person's craft? And, you know, Ashley, I believe in you. You're going to be great. You are great. You know, you're everything that you want to be already. We see it. You know, your hard work does not go unnoticed. You are inspiring. I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do for the rest of your life.
Ashley, I just want to tell you that I am truly proud of you. Again, I'm not going anywhere. This is not the end. I just want you to know that you are my heart. I love you to death. I'm so proud of you, and I see nothing but a better future for you. You and your group, you and Blue, you and me. Yes, and congratulations again.
So Ashley, I just want to tell you I'm extremely, extremely proud of you. Like you, years ago, you said, I'm sick of doing everyone else's show. I want to do my own thing. You did it. And even though back then I was like, girl, we too old to keep doing these fashion shows. And are you sure you really want to, you know, go off on your own and just be responsible for all of these younger girls? And you proved me wrong, and I'm glad you did. I'm just so proud of you. Like, you're really doing your thing, and you're so dedicated, and you're just really being a positive role model for the young girls that are coming up under you. So just stick to it and keep being amazing.
Stay woke. Yes! Did you get it? Did you get it? See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean.
Okay. I'm done. Okay. Don't put all that on camera. Look.
Yeah. Can't wait for show 7. Can't wait for show 8. Can't wait for show 9.
We love you, Ashley.
Yeah, this is what it looks like. Yeah, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you put on what you want and then you still fly. This is what it looks like when you're pretty, just as pretty as an inside. Yeah, this is what it look like.